All right, thank you, everybody. With that, I'm delighted to announce our speakers, Brooke Lenhoff and Kat Leverett. They work here in the Focus Suites. And I will tell you, I almost feel like I need to make a disclosure because I never know what's going to come out of their mouths. So I've seen this presentation before. They do a great job of it, and so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I'll turn it over to them.
Good morning, everybody. We appreciate you bearing the cold and coming out to share the morning with us. Today, we're just going to try to have a little fun and perk things up. And we want to talk about some assumptions. Brooke and I and Steve together, we coach about 1,200 sessions a year. And so we hear a lot of stories. Some of them are great. Some of them are frightening. But we're never bored. Never, ever, ever boring. And so that's what we want to just share some stuff with you. And I'm Kat, like Steve said, and this is my partner in crime every day, Brooke Lenhoff.
So we're going to have a little fun today, and like Kat said, we're going to go through 5 of the biggest assumptions that we hear when people come in for coaching. And just to explain what we mean by assumption, here in these walls, in this building, the word assumption is a neutral word. It's not a 4-letter word that you need to be embarrassed about. Assumption is neutral. It means this is an idea that you have or an opinion that you have that has not been proven to be true or false. So just a little disclaimer there. But so we're going to go through the 5 most common assumptions that we hear. And so we're going to read the assumption. Then we want you all to volunteer and answer. And if you answer correctly, you'll get a prize. And,
maybe even incorrect.
Or maybe even incorrectly. We'll see. So it's gonna be fun. Okay, so don't be shy. So let's get started here. Gotta get my buzzer ready because we're gonna buzz you if you're incorrect and embarrass you. Okay, assumption number 1. We hear this a lot. People come in and they say, what's the first step that I need to do? Do you have a checklist? This is a great question. Okay, so this is the assumption, is that following a certain set of directions or steps when starting a business is unnecessary.
False.
Oh, ho.
Who said
Who said false?
false?
Joe? Let's check. Is this false? It is true. It's true. Following a certain set of directions or steps when starting a business is unnecessary. And the reason why is that every business has a different entry point into the market. There's not a blanket answer like first you need your accountant in place or first you need your legal structure in place. Those are all important steps, but there's not one right way to start a business, okay? Oh, yes.
Why does everybody want to see your business plan?
Yep, that's a great question too. Yep, do you need a business plan?
Oh.
Who here thinks you need a business plan? Doris does, yeah. Yep. Dawn does, yep.
Darn right.
Kat, do we need a business plan?
Not unless you're seeking funding.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
You need it for the bank, yep. But that does not mean that you don't need to do business planning. That's two different things. Yep. We definitely need to do some business planning. We need to identify the assumptions we're making and then figure out if they're true or not true. And figuring out that your assumptions are not true is just as important as figuring out that your assumption is true. Yep. But when you go to the bank, yep, they're going to ask you for your business plan. And that's an important document that we want you to have vetted your assumptions that you've made. We like to say here, though, that there is one step that every single business should go through if you want to be successful, is figuring out if you have a customer who wants to buy what you're going to offer, right? And then we need to figure out, are there going to be enough customers that want to buy what you have to offer in order for it to be worth your time to start that business, okay? So that is the one step that we do recommend that every single business figure out. And we have coaching to help you figure that out, okay? All right. Can you flip that? Yeah.
A lot of times people will send us an email and say, I have an idea and I'd like the list so that I can start my business and be successful. And we just think, oh man, if there were such a list, we would be millionaires. But unfortunately, there are many lists and there are some tick marks that you can check, but there's not just the perfect recipe for everybody.
Okay. Assumption number 2. On average, it can take 3 to 5 years to make a profit.
True. That is
Don says it's true. Let's check. Yes, that is true. So, gosh, that's hard, right? 3 to 5 years before we make a profit.
I had no profit for the first 3 years.
Yeah.
Until I was in the business. It was all going out for rent like hell.
Yep, exactly.
I did not take a salary for 3 years.
Yep, bingo. So if we might not make a profit for 3 to 5 years, that also means we might not be able to take a paycheck or enough of a paycheck to pay for our personal finances. So when you start a business, if you're looking to pay yourself right away, you might want to have a plan B of another line of revenue. Now, this isn't true for every business, but you need to be prepared that this could be your situation that you find yourself in. Yep. So when we start a business, first of all, we need the business to be able to support itself before it can start supporting you by paying you a paycheck. Yes, you.
So just curious, if it takes longer than that 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
how does that work with taxes? Because I always thought that guideline was, when you file your taxes, they let you have 3 years
Mm-hmm.
where your expenses exceed your income. What happens after that 3rd year?
That's a great question that I would refer you to a tax professional for.
I think they let you
Yeah.
use money for a lot longer.
Yeah.
That's right. I just use money for about you want.
I've had that same issue with what I'm doing now, and my accountant with HPE said after 3 years, I think you're correct, you have to show a profit. Now, you could go that year, and maybe it's $1, and then you can go another 2 to 3 years without showing.
Without, yep.
But within, I think that's correct, within 3 years, I think you have to show an initial profit. Because sometimes people will intentionally show losses if they have multiple
Yep.
in one business and carry that loss over into another business that happens to be highly profitable.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, check with your tax accountant on that. That won't be a hard thing for them to answer.
Did Don get his flair?
He got his flair. You got your flair. All right. Assumption. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yes.
False.
False?
Well, you do what you love, and you have to love website design, and you have to love going to speak to people. So,
Yeah, I think
you got lots
of This-
yeah.
Yes, this is false. This is a myth.
I used to say this all the time. I was a student ambassador for Southeast Community College when I was in school, and I just loved saying this. And I think the way that I phrased it is get a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. You know, I think a job is a different thing than building a business, actually. Getting a job and creating cash flow is one thing, but building a business is something totally different. You have to have cash flow, certainly, to build your business. The cash flow may not come from your business, as we just discussed, but you might be a pizza delivery person in the evening and be a CEO of your own company in the daytime. It causes a little bit of mental stress to have those two identities. But really what you need to love is your customer's problem and solving that problem. You know, your customer right now is laying in bed at night going, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Oh, what is the solution? And then, if they're fortunate enough, then the following day, right through the radio or right through a friend or right here at Perk Up Coffee on Thursday mornings, then someone tells you, oh, I know somebody that can solve your problem. I know someone who specializes in easing your pain right there. So remember that at the end of the night, when you're in your own business and you're thinking about the last 24 hours and you're thinking, wow, I had some great sales today, but I also know that there were some super satisfied people that I got to serve in my business today. So love that solution. Yes.
I used to coach basketball at high school and with my students. And it's similar to businesses. You may lose a lot of games, but you got to love the game.
Yeah,
so sometimes,
that's good.
even though you're going through a hard time in your business, if you love what you're doing, that'll help you get through the good times.
It will. We want you to bring your passion, that's for sure.
Who answered that correctly? Somebody gets a flare for that.
We got several flares out there for that one, I think.
All right, assumption. Start your own business and you get to be the boss. False. False. Let me check the answer here. Oh, that is false. It is an assumption.
2 flares gone.
Somebody else, there were lots of falses. Yep. So you do get, this is kind of a trick question. You do get to be the boss, but you also have to be your own employee. So you have to be your own boss and you have to be your own employee and you have to be your own business manager. You're 3 people in one when you own your own, yes.
The security.
Yes. You're
the
everybody.
Chauffeur.
Yep, you are everybody. And your tech support. Yep, you're dreaming up the vision and the future of this business, and you've got the drive and the passion, and that's great and that's fun to do, right? That's what we all want to do when we start our own business. But then we also have to do the nuts and bolts of the business, and we've got to invoicing, all of the business management stuff. And then we have to also go out and probably serve our customers for a while until we have employees. Or maybe you don't ever have an employees. Maybe you are always wearing these 3 hats all at the same time. Yep.
And depending on what kind of business you're doing, maybe you're contracting out to other businesses.
Yep. And when you contract out, that automatically initiates a business manager hat that you have to put on. Yep.
I like the term rather than boss, servant leader.
Yes.
Even if you're one person. Because not only are you, first and foremost, you're the servant leader to your customer.
Yes.
And as you grow, and if you start adding, or even if you bring in contract people for certain things, it's helping them understand your vision and helping them become part ownership in that, even as a contractor.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. There's a big difference between manager or boss and a leader. You're exactly right. And if that's great advice, is that you need to be the leader in your business and you're there to serve. Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Your business will succeed as long as you have enough money.
That's false. Big time false.
False.
Golly, you guys are way too sharp up here.
120 million. I've worked with companies that had 120 million in venture funding, or 140, and they are no longer in business.
Well,
Let's check here.
Yeah, that is
Throw those
false.
people some flair, Brooke.
Get another one.
Oh my gosh.
You better wear the flair. Dare to wear your flair.
Who else said false? I
I'll
feel like
work.
somebody else
I'll
said
work
false.
next week this week.
All right.
Who else said false?
As long as you have enough money, you can spend it. That's for darn sure. But the thing that you need is focus.
What?
Focus. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're spending it here and spending it there, and a salesman comes and says, hey, I got this great thing, and if you'll give me $500, sign a year contract, then you're going to be all over town and people are going to hear all about you. Well, you can do that. And there's lots of salesmen, nothing against salesmen, because we're all selling something. As long as we're finding out the needs of people. But it's a sad thing, y'all, when we see people that have had lots of money and they're not successful. And they keep just putting money into it. And it's a risk. We all know it's a risk. But there's measured risks that you can take. And there's ways and means that we can know and track where our money goes. But focusing, having your little goals that you're meeting quarterly, understanding budget, understanding all of these things is so important. Having a plan. I'm a freak about a quarterly plan. Give me a quarterly plan and show me in 3 months 3 things that I can do and take little baby steps to move forward. The money, we all got to have money. We have to have it in order to keep going. Some of us more than others. Some of us just need 1 or 2 good clients. It just depends on the nature of your business. But money and throwing money continually at an idea will not guarantee your success if you don't have a good model. We've seen lots of people come to the center for coaching, and they've invested their 401k. They've taken lots of years of money and put into a product or a service, and they just can't seem to get any traction. Well, sometimes there's just no one interested. You know, I love bacon and jelly sandwiches. But you know what? There's just not like a big restaurant serving bacon and jelly sandwiches, because I doubt there's a ton of bacon and jelly sandwich lovers out there. So if I started that business, I'd be throwing money right in there with the bacon and jelly, but there's not any guarantee that I'm not hearing all around. I'm not hearing it. Are you hearing it? Man, I wish I had a bacon and jelly sandwich.
Throw some peanut butter in there, I'm with it.
Okay.
I bet you could do an all bacon restaurant, and that'd be one of your offerings.
You know, we can all do the things that we love, but if we're not hearing it, I tell you what, that's something that I've learned over the past couple of years, is learning to listen and learning to hear. And you know what? We started the Sweet Spot because of y'all. Because after coffee, everybody just seemed like they wanted to stay here. And we thought, well, maybe if we had a little spot for them, they'd feel more comfortable hanging around. And that was a direct result of us listening to our customers.
Watching.
Just watching.
We watched several of you like to take phone calls for your clients, and you're just walking around the hallway, and we're like, oh, they need a place to work.
That's right.
You've been here for 2 hours, and you're, and that's great. We love it. We love it. We're like, we need to.
So we
etch out
made a
some space
place for you,
Yeah.
and we hope that you'll use it.
Oh shoot, technical difficulties here.
Okay, so that's
All right.
that's our fifth one. This is time for bonus round.
Bonus round, everybody.
It's
lightning round?
It's lightning. Steve, if you will help us, and Dawn, if you can just take a sheet of paper and a pencil, pass it around. This is going to be a timed lightning round.
Y'all didn't know how hard this perk up was going to be today, did you?
I told you I don't know what's going to come up.
We just like to keep it perking. It's going to get your brains going a little
One
bit.
sheet of paper, one pencil.
Or just take one of those little pads. There should be enough for
There's enough
everybody.
pads for everybody, yeah.
Thanks.
All right, let's wait till everybody gets their utensils.
Fair playing field here.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you're also intense.
Here we go.
Yep, get your glasses out if you need that. Okay, so, as Steve mentioned at the beginning, during introductions, you are sitting right smack dab in the middle of our focus suites. And our focus suites are,
The focus suites are, we offer individual private offices, and this is a place where you can come and you do business for real. You come here, you focus, you work on your business, and you do it in a collaborative and supportive and learning environment, okay? So, our bonus round is, we want to know how many Focus Suites businesses, keep your eyes down, no cheating here. How many can you list in 1 minute? And
Starting now. This is the quietest this week.
I know.
I guarantee it.
I feel like we need the Jeopardy music.
Ding, 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 ding.
This is a long minute. How much time we got, Kat?
10 seconds. All right. 3, 2, 1, stop.
okay.
All right, count them up and see how many you have. We'll see who has the most.
I had 9.
9.
9.
Wow.
Has anybody got more than 9?
7.
Dawn?
7. I heard 7. Who had 7?
I wanted to look up at that sign.
He was not going to cheat. So,
All right.
all
Dawn.
right.
You have 9. Let's hear them. Let's see.
Yeah.
Artisan, that jazz guy. Debbie Living. Yeah, Eddie Brown Lowe's. That Lutheran place. That dog setting fig print, which Roper isn't here anymore, but I guess I had that down. And I had that place back there.
There's 17 businesses here, y'all.
That
17.
place back there, I'm going to disqualify that answer.
Well, I had 8.
All right.
I had 8.
Well, we have a list here if you guys want to check those
Who had
out.
7? But who? Somebody share theirs that had 7.
I have AIM, Vincent's, I think it's a Building Bridges or something Bridges, okay.
Bridge to Better Living.
Yeah.
I
Bison
had
Meats,
that down.
Tracy John's G24, Best Custom Apparel, and then Amy Doley's, I couldn't remember her name of her business.
All right.
Liquor promotion.
Let me just
Right,
read them
that's
to
it.
you so you guys will remember them. And these are our sweeties. We love these people up here. They're incredibly generous. They're incredibly hardworking. They just show up. And we've had lots of successes, and together we've looked at frustrating situations and overcome them. When you're a member of the Focus Suites, we meet quarterly for coaching. We do that for 2 reasons. We want to keep up with everybody, but we believe also that every business should have a quarterly come together so they understand where their financials are, they understand what their strengths and their weaknesses, do a little SWOT analysis, see what kind of threats are in the marketplace. So Brooke and I and Steve, all of us together as a team, we do the coaching here. There's 17 businesses, so come quarterly coaching time, we have an hour session with each one of these businesses. That's a long week, but it's one of the best weeks because we get to look at all of the challenges together. And if you think going down to bed and worrying about one business is tough, let me tell you, after coaching week and you've got 17 businesses on your mind, it's a little difficult to go to sleep sometimes. So anyway, here we go. We've got AIM Nutrition Counseling, ABC Insurance Solutions, Artisan HR, Best Custom Apparel, Bridge to Better Living, Family First Life Great Plains, Flickr Promotions, GNR Affordable Housing Partners, Grow 24 and Professional Reliable Organizing, Home Care Partners of Nebraska, Ideal Health, NebraskaBison.com, Performance Downloads, Run Networks, Scene 29 Studios, Total Body Synergy, and Vicente Custom Clothiers. So if you guys have questions about any of those businesses, talk to Brooke or Steve or I, and we'll let you know what's going on. So, anything else?
We can take questions.
We'll take some questions, and we've got a couple of certificates for Sweet Spot. 2 hours free.
Aid, since you want aid. Keep it or share it with a friend. Our 7 winner. We'll leave that
If you can't use it, pass it on.
Yep.
And we hope to see you guys in the Sweet Spots, and hope to see you next week. And you've got a question. Yeah.
There's the other side of the story where you say, well, people are maybe struggling and they've got their 1 to 3 year goals and they're reviewing it quarterly. How do you respond to businesses to exceed their goals? You know, the 3 to 5 years before you're profitable. I've had the privilege of working with a company, I won't mention their name, they're downtown, they're the apothecary now, very successful. They started out as wedding photographers, and within 2 years, they had achieved their 5-year goals that we had set.
Nice.
And so what's your approach, I guess, in terms of helping them? Well, that probably move out of Sweet Street.
Yeah.
But beyond that, how do you help take them to the next level?
We have a refocus program for our alumni, and we offer quarterly for them to come in as well. Many of our alumni have exceeded their goals and are, in the community and growing. But there's always a bigger place. There's always greater goals, either adding to your services.
You help them do like a 3 to 5 year strategic goal planning, of which you still have the short-term rocks, if you will.
We have not developed a whole 3 to 5 year plan, but we keep working on the quarterlies.
The goal here is that this is a temporary place. Like you're supposed to move out of here. Yep. So, well, we don't kick you out after 3 years, but yeah, it's 3 to 5 years that you're here, depending on your needs. So, if somebody grew that fast, the goal would be then to move them out of here into a place that, could offer them what they need to be growing so quickly. And one thing that Steve does, this is where he really excels, is developing our external resource network. And so if a business were growing that rapidly where it became, that they've outgrown the services here, we would look to our network to find them somebody that could help them take that business to the next level in their development. Yep.
And sometimes it could still only be 1 or 2 people.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Started out.
Yep.
People.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't so much that they needed to expand from a physical resource standpoint, but
Yep, they just,
We invest back into the business.
yep, they need,
That became
they need different resources.
strategic direction goals.
Yep. Once a business needs different resources than what we specialize in and what we like to focus on, we look to our network to help that business out. Yep. Great question. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. I can always tell when they're passionate about what they talk about because Kat starts dropping into her y'alls. And she had 2 today, so that means she was very passionate about what she was talking about. Anyway, thank you for being here. There's no need to rush off. You're welcome to hang around as long as you want, network, meet somebody new before you leave, exchange those business cards. Kat and Brooke will be up here to answer more questions if you have them. And then check out the sweet spot before you go, around the corner, Suite 305. And we'll see you next week for Boiler Brewing.